Welcome to the Mo Chatta Show with Big E. Our featured guest is Jake Rosario, a micro sprint driver, former Chili Bowl racer, and 5-time Port City Raceway track champion.
All right.
Nico out of there.
Nico's good. All right. So, hey, Big E, we got another good one.
Yep.
We got
already tastes like victory fuel.
it does. I can smell the race fuel in here right now. We got Jake Rosario, right?
Yes, sir.
Did I say it right?
Yeah, you said it right.
See that? Yes.
Boom, first try.
Boom, first try. Yeah, it's kind of cool too, seeing that. I've been talking to him all, about coming, and we went to the Chili Bowl, and we're going to talk about all that stuff. But he actually created a two-seater. Is it a sprint car? Or
It's a micro sprint, yeah.
Micro
Just like a scaled down version of a sprint car, pretty much.
Really?
So what's the difference? Okay, so I don't
They
understand
race
the
them
sprint.
those? Yeah.
I don't understand the sprint from the micro, so tell me the differences.
Yeah,
of those.
so like a full-blown sprint car, it's got a 410 cubic inch V8 in it.
And that's what you race?
No, so that's like the full-blown, like what the World of Outlaws race, like
Okay.
all over stuff. And then you scale down, like it's basically a scaled down version is what I race, and it just has like a 600cc like crotch rocket engine in it.
Okay.
So it looks exactly the same, just scaled down.
Those
pretty
have
much.
like the crotch rocket motorcycles engines in them?
Yeah. We basically take the motor out of the motorcycle, straight out of the bike, and then it bolts right into our cars. I mean, obviously we have motor builders that trick them out and stuff and all that stuff. But
And so you race at, which I know a lot of people know, the Chili Bowl is huge.
yeah,
You race that, and then I saw you race over here in Owasso
Yeah.
at the
Port City Raceway, baby.
Yeah.
Port City, yeah.
Yeah, home track.
We saw you over there, and I'd only seen those races. Are they called? What would you call the races? Like, are they the dirt car races?
Yeah, dirt track.
Dirt track
track,
races.
circle dirt. Yeah.
I'd seen it once before in Nebraska whenever I was up there, and they're like, "You might want to get some headphones, like it's loud." And I was like, "No way!" And then I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
And it was awesome. Like it was the first time I'd ever seen it live, and I was like, "This is awesome!" I didn't expect any of it. I didn't know what to think going in.
Oh, yeah. That's
but coming out of it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even know that like Port City is right in our backyard in Tulsa. And it's
Yeah.
a little hole in the wall, but yeah, it's produced a lot of good racers like Christopher Bell, NASCAR driver. I mean, there's a ton of other drivers that came out of Port City that race nationally, like Shane Stewart, which is now the owner. He raced with the World of Outlaws for many years. There's so many that I could name that have made it big. That have raced in our backyard with us and stuff. That grew up racing with. But,
And whenever we were downtown, I think it took us like 15 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
From downtown.
Yeah,
It's
anywhere in
a
Tulsa.
beautiful place too.
Yeah. They've done it's like this year's actually the 50th year for Port City.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, they're kicking off their 50th year of racing, but it started back in the day, and it was John Pickle, and they just a bunch of guys put the track together and raced it, and you wouldn't think anything of it'd be anything this big.
74,
now,
yeah.
50 years later, and it's like one of the most premier racetracks in the country.
It
so
is,
cool.
man. When you go there, I mean, I've been there a few times to watch you and watch a bunch of different drivers and stuff. It's nuts, man. It's super cool with that many drivers come to it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And also, Biggie, I don't know if you noticed or not. Jake is how many times have you won it over there?
Championship.
Yeah.
I
You
think
say championship, is that?
5. Yeah, so that we have like a points championship every year. So you race, they divvy out points or whatever, kind of like a series or any type of deal like that. And at the end of the year, whoever had the most points throughout the year, it's just like a points championship. And so last year I won the 2 divisions I race in. There's 5 divisions. I race in 2 of them, and I won the championship in both of those last year. And then the year before that, I won the championship, and then I've won on 2 in the same year, like
Nice.
10 years ago or so before too. So I think total of 5 at Port City.
So you're defending champion over there right now?
Yeah.
So you go all over the country and race?
So growing up, I traveled all over the country with my dad and my brother and stuff. Now that I'm married with kids, it's kind of hard to do that. So I kind of just chill back and race at Port City mostly every week. And
Nice.
just have fun on the
Yeah,
weekends.
you guys race, is it all year round or is there a
Yeah,
season?
yeah. There used to be an off season. You'd start like in April and then race till like August, September. Now it's like all year long, never stop. By the time you stop, like
No breaks.
end of November, then you have like a month in the shootout and Chili Bowl, and then you get like a month maybe, and then February they're starting back up and going. So it's like, there's no off season
There's
anymore.
no rest.
No off season.
No stops.
So when you talk about your dad and brother, is that what's the age that you started at, and is it Has your dad been doing it for long, or do you have
No,
an
so
older
my-
brother, younger brother? Or
Yeah, so I got two older brothers. My middle brother, he started first, and then I started like a year or two after him. But you can start. They start them like at Port City. They start at 6 years old.
Oh, wow.
Basically like a little junior sprint division.
Oh, wow.
Basically scaled down to what I have. It's just like a little lawnmower motor in it, a little 100cc lawnmower motor in it, and they start at 6 years old. Yeah, they're running around, you know, just like
awesome.
you're like what in the world? But yeah, they're competitive as all get out, and they have a blast too. So it's crazy watching little kids, and each year they get younger and younger. The talent, you know,
Yeah.
like when I first started, I was racing with, you know, like the elites, you know, were like 30 years old. Now it's like 14-year-olds are out there kicking my butt.
That's
So
crazy.
It's crazy, but yeah, I started when I was 8 years old, I think, and yeah, I've just been racing ever since. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, whenever I was out there, I remember there were some smaller cars, and we just rode up. I mean, there's just mud, slow.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is awesome. And then I see these. I was like, oh, there's like, you know, little people getting out of the car.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, those are children. And I was like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get in
You
that.
said midget car racing?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
But-
well, speaking of midget racing, there's a guy that's been in that Chili Bowl that
Yeah,
has,
Rico
and
Abrams,
he
yeah.
is
Oh
phenomenal.
yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how tall
Yeah,
he
he's
is.
won.
but-
I think he's won Chili Bowl 3 times. I think.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So
he's
when
a
he
stud.
first,
No
when I
way.
first seen it, and it's like you said, you look at these big cars, and I mean going fast as hell around there, and
Oh, man.
and this guy gets out and stands on the tire, and he's the same height as the car,
And he's just crushing.
and I was like,
Oh,
surely
yeah,
not, but
he's a
he's
cool
just
dude, too.
killing
It's like a
everybody.
jockey,
he's cool, dude,
like a
yeah.
jockey in horse racing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah,
so
dude.
competitive. I mean, I
Oh,
seen him
yeah.
back there. I mean, another cool thing about the Chili Bowl is the pitch. You know,
Yeah.
you get to go back there
Man.
and see those guys intense trying to fix those cars. You know,
Yeah.
That's
what
the good thing
makes
about
that?
Rico too is he's good with his fans and everybody
Yeah.
makes sure and keeps the fans involved,
Yeah.
does all that stuff too. So
What makes that Chili Bowl so big?
And the Chili Bowls here at the, just people who are first time listeners, just the huge races down at the Tulsa Expo.
Right.
yeah,
I've been trying to get tickets for years.
yeah, they're sold out.
I'm
every
telling
year.
you, they sell out so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's insane.
yeah, it's a waiting list. Yeah, yeah, it's just so big. They just have people from all different disciplines of racing. I mean, you got like Formula One racers, you got sprint car racers, you got micro sprint racers, you got NASCAR racers.
That's
I
crazy.
mean, everybody comes into that one building, and the coolest part about it is it's all in one building. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's the only thing like it in the world where everybody comes in the same building, and you got the racetrack on this end, and all the pits on one end, and it's all together and everything. So it's pretty cool.
And are they all like, I mean, I'm sure if people stay at hotels, but is there like a huge like RV presence there too? Like
yeah,
where all
oh,
the
yeah.
families stay
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff?
there's a big campground and everything.
That's
and
so cool.
Everybody's there. That's the cool
My
Yep.
part.
my uncle goes to that every year, and I didn't find out. He doesn't call me or anything. He's all business when he comes up here. And
You're
like
no longer
my
family
mom,
during that, I
my
guess.
mom told me like 5 years ago. I brought it up to her when I was first learning. She was, "Yeah, your uncle drives in from like Springfield every year for like a week or whatever." And I'm like, "What? He didn't call us or nothing?" She goes, "No, he gets the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
He goes there. And he goes, I'm like, thanks."
Yeah, they're huge fans.
Still
That's
love
why
you,
they take
Uncle
it
Mike.
seriously, yeah.
Well, they're proud of their tickets too.
Oh,
You know
yeah,
what I mean,
for
it's
sure,
like
yeah.
you get a pit, and I don't know how much, but it's
Man.
worth it. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
you know,
for
you
sure.
get out there and you drink beer, and like I said, you get to get back there, and these guys are like trying to change these tires and fix the car real
Yeah.
quick so they can get back out there.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Is it a week-long thing, or is it like
Yeah.
Monday through Sunday, or what is the?
Yeah, I think so. Now it's like they park on like Saturday and then practice and race. I think like Sunday through the next Saturday. So it's like a whole week long deal.
Man, that's awesome too.
And a lot of people run. So basically the same. It's a Chili Bowl, but it's for micros. So which is what I race, and it's 2 weeks before that. Same building, same track, and
Really?
everything. And we have there's like 1,700 entries from all over the world racing that. So it's like the biggest. It's like the mecca of our racing too. So
I didn't even know they had that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I haven't seen the promotional stuff, and I mean, I
Just
didn't
thought it
know
was
that
one,
they have.
but they got two different.
yeah, so it's 2 weeks apart. So we have the shootout, and then there's a week in between, and the next week is the Chili Bowl. So
That's
a
also
huge
like
deal.
a huge like 2 or 3 week event.
yeah, most people come they'll come like the day after Christmas. They show up because that's when we park for the shootout, and then they stay for like a month. You know.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
damn, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you won the Chili Bowl?
No, I've never won. I've raced it 3 or 4 times now, I think. But no, it's so competitive.
I was
so
gonna say
hard.
that many
There's so
entries
much-
and stuff too. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
freaking.
There's a lot of luck that goes along with it, and then you
Yeah.
just got to be on your A game every time you hit the track. And
Yeah, I mean, like you
make any
said, you had the
mistakes.
Formula One. Like
Yeah.
1 year, I thought. I mean, I don't know if I was Tony Stewart was there.
Yeah,
Right?
oh, yeah.
I mean, I remember seeing this. He had like a huge ass truck that was like, I mean, I saw like 7 cars, and I'm like, but going into that too is, I mean, it's got to be an expensive sport.
Oh yeah, without doubt. And it's even the more and more we go. I mean, like nowadays, there's so much money in the sport and everything that it's gotten so like it's starting to toe out there as far as price and cost and everything. Just like real life.
Yeah.
Just on a much bigger scale of racing. So.
I need to get to that Chili Bowl. That's gonna be my goal.
Yeah, it's
calling my uncle.
Hey, we went last year, and it was me and Haley's brothers, and it was awesome. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
Get you up there and put you in the 2-seater, man.
Get me in. Come on. That would be awesome.
Hey, why you bring? Listen, I got a sore subject.
Sorry.
I'm overweight. He said I was overweight. I couldn't fit in there.
Man. We're gonna get you in there.
So he said in Port City, I guess where there's levels of a chili bowl. I don't want to be stuck there. When I go to Port City, I might be able to crawl out. So he did. But thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, sorry.
I still can't sleep over that, but it's fine. Whatever.
I'll slim down too. I'll get in one of those things, and he'll probably make me shit myself. But it'll be a lot of fun. Like it was mud. I swear. It just flung up.
Listen, going. Oh my God. So the first time I seen it, he told me. He actually showed me, and I actually worked over there with him as well, and he showed me the build of this car, right? And
you created it?
Yeah.
They built it, dude. And then and I'm like a 2-seater, and I've been around these cars forever, right? And I mean, and we'll go into that as well.
Got one, and it was like you at the race too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I can't
Crazy.
fit in that.
Well, and then at first we get over the Chili Bowl, and Jake's kind of, I guess he's kind of a little, I don't know if he's talking to the riders to figure out like what they like fast, or he's going on slow. And I was like, shit, I don't want to ride in that thing, dude. I can run faster. And dude, all of a sudden he hits that freaking thing, and he goes to the corner. I'm like, ka-chow. And we have another guy I work with, Billy Sweet, and him and his dad talk about family. They go every year, and they're there for like every day. And it's, but they go, that's like their thing. It's a family deal. But I told him at work, and I was like, and the first lap, I was like, oh, whatever, dude. And then the second, I was like, I don't even know if I want to get in. It's like, he was going so fast.
Yeah, that's one of the cool, you mentioned that racing in the Chili Bowl and stuff, and like the shootout, I ran it probably 18 years probably, but now I haven't raced it in 3 or 4 years. But the main reason why now is because, like, I'm president of the foundation for my brother-in-law, but we built this 2-seater for that, and I have such a blast doing the 2-seater deal that I have more fun driving that than I do my own car nowadays. So it's like,
do you think they're going to create, or have they created like a racing division with 2-seaters?
No, people talk about that. Like the last couple of years when I've had out there, like, we need to build another one and have a race.
That's funny.
Like those. It's like I've seen those videos and like. In like Europe, someone will be in like India or like in like Scotland or something, and they're in these tight cars. I don't know what you call it, but one guy's like the navigator. And he's like, hard left, hard left, hard left, hard. And the guy like goes straight. And he's like, damn it, why didn't you go left?
That's so like
I would do that good. Left,
there's
left,
a couple people
left.
at the Chili Bowl that is their first time there, and they want to ride in the 2-seater, so they were like getting ready. So they were freaking out, And I'm like getting them all buckled in and all that stuff with their fire suit on and getting them buckled in. I'm like, all right, and we're fixing to go out. I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna make like 2 laps, and on the 3rd lap, I flip the switch, and you're in total control. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, but you'll be all right. And then we go out there, so the whole time they're like, hang on for dear life. But,
is there another steering wheel over there?
Yeah, there's steering wheel in the back. There's just a dummy wheel. But they have no idea. Hilarious. They've never even been in a car.
You're in control now?
Hey, I was shit. I mean, like I said, the first lap, I was like, man, I could probably. And then he turned it on, and there was a lady riding in there at the time, and it's loud as hell in the Chili Bowl, and they're slinging mud everywhere, and I could hear this lady in the back in the helmet. You hear, like screaming in the back.
That's the coolest part about it is there's like we had like a 16-year-old in it, and then we had like this 81-year-old war veteran that had one leg. Cool. And that's the coolest part about it. Yeah. The people that would never have the chance to do something like that. And then they come down there and they have an absolute blast. So it's
to do that, I know as far as like you have to do a raffle, right, to get into the
so the first year we did like $5 raffles, but it didn't raise. I just got to sell so many raffle tickets to make it, and so make any money. So the next year we changed it up and did like a silent or secret auction where you put a bid in, and then you don't know what you're bidding against, but you put your bid in, and then like each time we go out, we take out the highest bid out of the box, and so
that's cool.
It was pretty good. We raised a ton of money for our foundation. I think over like almost 25 grand for our foundation
That's awesome.
just through that alone. So it was a lot of fun.
I was just
really
thinking,
good for the foundation.
There's I know I'm in oil and gas, and I know a lot of those guys follow the Chili Bowl and all this stuff. And I've talked to guys here in town that have their offices in Tulsa, and they're like, yeah, we got tickets, this and that. And they're doing, I wonder if, and I'm just brainstorming off the cuff here, but there's like a skeet shoot next Friday.
Oh, yeah.
And people do raffles for guns and raffles for all this stuff. And people donate like stuff, and they raffle it off. It'll be like a box of like a gun cleaning kit or something like that. I bet that would be a cool. I'm sure they would love it.
Yeah,
but if they're
cool.
like, we'll raffle off you get to ride, you know, with a
for
champion.
Sure. Yeah, we might be able to do
because
I
I
have like a night at Port City or something where like intermission.
I'm sure they'd be into that because all those guys love it. And I bet they'd be like, dude, I get to ride one, and I get to take control.
Exactly.
I don't know. I was just thinking about that because so many of them like it. I was like, that'd be pretty cool. If I saw that at a raffle, I'd be like, that'd be
I would do that.
badass.
In fact, we actually did that at the Tulsa Quarter Midget track in Tulsa for like little kids. They start racing. I think it's like 4 years old. They start racing and little go karts and stuff. And they were looking for items like that for their raffle, and we donated one for them to ride in at the shootout. And a guy won it and he rode in at the shootout off his raffle.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Well, we were talking about too your father-in-law, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so again, I kind of grew up around there, like the Hillenbergs, and then the Crawfords. Mm-hmm. Those to me were the two main people, right? I mean, it was, everybody back then was you pay your money, get to the pits. Those were the guys, and then now Biggie, that's his father-in-law, and then there's I'm so glad that you're on, just because I kind of want to know a lot more, and some stuff you might want to tell or not want to tell. But they went through a tragedy through Donnie Ray, a little bit.
Donnie Ray.
Donnie Ray.
Yeah.
And it was a bad story, man. He was rising to the top. I mean, I think he was at the top.
Yeah, I was gonna say when
he was
and
in his prime.
So how and I see Donnie at yours. And helping you. Yeah. And every time I see him, man, is it like, since you're doing it, it's kind of taking that spot for, not like taking his place, but you know what I mean? He just seems so happy, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just being around cars.
Yeah.
He was on Snap-on, he was the guy.
Yeah.
And
he still slings tools every day.
Does he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So talk about how was that transition? And you don't have to go into like the private stuff, but how was that kind of transition from that to your kind of racing?
Yeah. So obviously Donnie's dad, Ray, the old man Ray Crawford. Right. He's Donnie Ray Crawford, the first senior.
Yeah.
He raced back in the 70s, and he was same thing. Everybody between him and Emmett Hahn, who runs Chili Bowl now. Yeah. They were like rivals back in the day.
That's cool.
And then it went next to Donnie Crawford, which is my father-in-law. And then they had Donnie Ray, which is the third, which is my wife's brother. And like you said, he was tragically killed in 2012. I raced with Donnie Ray, my wife's brother. Grew up racing against him and stuff. And so that's kind of how the relationship there. We weren't like super close friends or anything like that, but we knew each other. And obviously we had tiffs on the racetrack,
for sure.
But that's kind of the connection there. And then whenever it happened with Donnie Ray, I just kind of sent his parents a letter, kind of thanking them for giving us Donnie Ray for the time that we had him and stuff. And kind of went out there and hand delivered it to him and stuff. And I had won like the first weekend of that year after we lost him, and so I kind of dedicated that win to him and had a picture on my car, his sticker on my car, and kind of got a picture with it in Victory Lane and took that in a frame to them with that letter. Yeah. And So, anyways, that was probably like a month or two after it happened with Donnie Ray, and so that's when I kind of knew his sister, my wife, then, but we never really talked or anything, and so. After that, we just kind of became friends and stuff, and it kind of, the rest is history. But like I said, I've been racing since I was a baby, and it's been in their family, obviously, since, forever. Right. And so, I just kind of took it and ran with it. I was racing for my dad and with my brother, kind of traveling around, and it was kind of in that transition period of, all right, I'm not going to be a race car driver for the rest of my life, so what am I going to do with my life? Yeah. And so me and my wife kind of started dating a couple years after it happened with her brother, and her parents were like, all right, what are you gonna do for a living? You know. And so I was like, what do you mean I'm gonna be a race car driver? Yeah. No, but so
that's cool.
Anyways, I started going to school for engineering and stuff, and so that was kind of the period where I stopped racing. You know, those few years I was racing midgets and stuff for my dad a little bit, but I moved up here. I'm originally from Guthrie, and so it was kind of hard to keep a race car going in the race shop in Guthrie when I was 2 hours away.
Right.
Yeah.
And so moved up here, went to school, graduated, got my degree, and then me and my wife, you know, we got married in the same running parallel with that. And when we got married, Chastity was like, "So you gonna get a race car?" I was like, "What?" She's like, "I mean, that's what you do."
Right.
I was like, "Well, I didn't know I was still gonna do it," you know. So we bought a car, and then
that's why I love you, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Which she was born on like a Thursday and at the racetrack on a Saturday.
Oh,
so,
jeez.
You know, so it's been in her blood too.
Yeah.
So.
Did she ever race? I mean, did she ever get in cars? Or she just like, I'm out of that?
Yeah, her Ray Crawford, his saying was always no tits in the pits. So it was never even a possibility of her racing.
I saw that sticker.
yeah.
That is a good one.
Yeah,
You want to bring that up.
Yeah, so now my wife tells everybody.
Yeah, that's
but,
awesome.
So anyways, now she never raced, but it's in her blood. So I mean, even nowadays, she's like, so on Saturdays, I'm like, so you don't take the weekend off? She's like, what? I was taking the weekend. I'm like, whoa, okay. So,
Fine,
we're
I'll race.
yeah, so no, but it's good. It's a family, like you said in the beginning. You know, it's a family deal, and our kids. There's nothing better than having your kids grow up, you know, where they're at every Saturday night, and of course they love it more than we do. So.
Yeah,
and then we know the reason he invented the two-seater.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's been in it once, but she wasn't really a fan.
The tits in the pits.
I don't want to get back in here.
Yeah. It's funny. It's a funny story. So the first time I brought it to the shootout, like the Chili Bowl, the first ride, I was like, well, Chastity, you want to get in my life? And she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, just hop in. We'll just go out there. I won't take it, you know, too hard. She's like, okay. And so we're like rolling down the ramp, about to go out. And she's like, just please don't take it hard. Please just take it easy. And I'm like, you know, okay. So I go out there, you know, like half throttle, you know, not even doing anything. And she's like freaking out. She's like, oh my gosh. And I come up the ramp and my mother-in-law's waiting at the top. And she's like, don't you ever go out there and take it easy again. Everybody's going to think it's a dud. And I'm like, all right, there we go. So ever since then, I'm like.
Did you back up and do it again?
Yeah.
That's
so like ever since then, I never take it easy no matter who's in it.
That's so funny. Years earlier, what are you going to do besides racing? And then now you're getting, you better not ever take it easy.
Oh, yeah. The big 55 number, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I remember seeing that, and the 55 with the wings on it, and I've seen it. I mean, you know, like I said, I'm from Broken Arrow, and it was all over.
Yeah,
and it still is. Right. But it's amazing how much of a family sport it is.
Yeah.
You know, and we go out and watch you race, and you know, your kids got the little big headphones on and sitting with your wife and everybody else down there. I mean, that poor city, it's cold. I mean, they're still out there grinding, having a great time. And like, how much does that 55 number mean to you?
Oh, it's just, you can't even put it into words, you know. But the coolest thing about it is, like we tell everybody, me and Chastity, you know, how we kind of got together, you know, was through the passing of our brother. But like, it's so crazy, like thinking about what we have now because of that. Like, something so tragic turned into. So the foundation, we fund kids going to college and mission trips.
Oh man,
and like cool. Injured drivers, when they get injured, we support them. Yeah. So we've given over like $300,000 to different scholarships. And
that's the Donnie Ray Crawford Legacy Foundation.
So that's the foundation. So yeah, we raise funds through like the Chili Bowl, like the two-seater and stuff like that. That's what that was for. And we do all kinds of different fundraisers throughout the year. We have a memorial race in the summer at Port City. All that's to raise money for the foundation.
That's cool.
You know, like I said, it's crazy to watch, you know, something like that grow to what it's grown to, all, you know, from what it was.
Yeah,
so.
That's
and
awesome.
we definitely want to promote that. I mean, you know, that's not, you know, we're friends and too, but I definitely want that out there because I know how much the 55 means to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just being in the race world, but also know how much it means to you and that whole family. I mean, you go up, and I mean, I didn't even want to buy T-shirts, and just being around the family, I was like, I bought like 2 T-shirts as a deal, and it's just so cool because you do get to see your whole family through it, and your in-laws, and
so a lot of people don't know, but so there's Ray Crawford Sr. and then Donnie Crawford Jr. and then Donnie Ray the third, which is my wife's brother. Well, he was the last Crawford, you know.
Oh.
So when it happened with him, it was like their bloodline, shut
Yeah.
off. And so whenever me and my wife got married and stuff, we were like, so if we have a son first, he's gonna be Donnie Ray Crawford the fourth, to carry that on.
Yeah.
So we went through with that. So my oldest
awesome.
isn't a Rosario; he's a Crawford.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's
I
Donnie
had
Ray
no
Crawford
idea.
the fourth. Yeah.
That is super cool.
So he loves going around telling everybody, "I'm Donnie Ray Crawford the fourth."
As well as he should. That's around
yeah.
the raceway. That's So
that lets you know what the 55 means to me. You know what I mean?
That's super
They
cool.
all racing? Your 3 boys?
He's 6 now. So like right before Christmas, his birthday is right after Christmas, January 6th, and so. Right before Christmas, he was telling everybody that Santa was bringing him a junior sprint to start racing because he can start racing at 6 at Port City.
He's ready.
So he's telling everybody, "I'm going to junior sprint this year." I'm like, "Hold the phone." Yeah.
So you going to? Like,
And
what's
Mama wants him to wait as long as possible.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
But no, it's inevitable. He's going to be in it at some point.
For
so.
sure.
Blood.
He's
you're
an
gonna
athlete,
race
though. I
with
mean,
us.
he's playing baseball. He wants to play basketball. He wants to play football. I mean,
That's awesome.
Doing it all.
he's in it, and he's so headstrong. Once he starts something, he's like all in.
Yeah.
So.
He's going to be driving himself to the games.
I know, right?
In a lawnmower.
Yeah, the lawnmower.
Look, hitting
Bobby
kicking
Boucher
us
style.
out. Yeah.
He's probably one of the ones most excited to get in the 2-seater. And I'm like,
really?
you're not old enough.
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
I'm getting rides around the yard and stuff, and at the racetrack real slow, but
that's
pumped.
Well, one thing I saw on those that I didn't expect to see whenever I was out there watching it was the one of the tires, maybe it's 2 tires, are like
Different
big,
sizes,
and then some are looking normal, and then there's one really long one.
Yeah. So we
Like
race
Costco hot dog.
so we race in a circle so that your rear tires, the right side is bigger to give you more stagger and roll out to get through the turns better.
Because the turns are really sloped, right?
Right,
They're
yeah.
like, what
Yeah.
degree is that? Is there a certain pitch that they're all?
Port City's gotten so high now. It used to be pretty flat, and it's
Yeah.
just over the years gotten higher and higher and higher. So it's pretty high bank now, though. But that's what makes it so much faster. And
Yeah.
Port City's like a little bull ring,
Oh, yeah.
And it's so small, but that's what it is. That much time to think every lap. You got a different rate. That's why it breeds such good racers because they're just on and on.
Yeah,
and on.
you
They
gotta
go to a different
be-
track, and they're like, let me get a drink on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to give Port City some love because it's my friend Sean, we went up there with him, but one of his buddy does, I guess is it called stock, where it looks like a car, but they drive, it's like I don't know what kind of engine it is, but it's not just the sprint cars and it's what I can't remember what the name
stock
of.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was super cool being out there seeing them race, and they just have like all kinds of different races. And they have every time I've been out there, it's packed.
Yeah.
The race world, I didn't know it was that big. You know what I mean? It's I thought it was just a bunch of dudes that got drunk, got cars as fast as they went. You know what I mean? Just turned to the left. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy over the years how it's grown into what it is now,
Yeah.
But,
How many laps do you usually do in like one? I can't remember when we were out there. Is it like 15, 20 laps, 25
yeah,
laps?
so like typically on like a typical Saturday night, you have your heat race, which is like a qualifier kind of, and then it's like 8 laps, usually 8 to 10 laps, and then you have your main event. So after you qualify after your heat, that puts you where you're going to be the rest of the night. And then in your main event, the A feature, it's usually anywhere from 20 to 30 laps. Like our memorial race, we have make it as big of an event as we can, and it's 55 laps, the main event.
Oh wow!
It's you got to.
How many guys
be there at
make
end.
the final?
Usually it's 20, 24.
20?
Yeah.
Dang,
Yeah. So.
a lot of cars out there.
You could like stop and get gas. On there?
Yeah. How big? So is the gas? I mean, I'm seeing those cars and how compact they are.
Yeah.
Where do you put all that shit?
Yeah,
like,
it's
where do you
all-
put the gas
you're
tank?
all
Is it
right
like a
there.
long gas tank underneath, or
Yeah,
is
so
it
it's
like?
in the back, so that's what the nose-looking thing is. On
Okay.
the
Oh,
really?
that's your
Okay.
fuel cell,
Okay.
yeah, so, and they hold anywhere. I mean, there's different styles of fuel cells and stuff. Some of them are 8 gallons, some are 15 gallon. It just kind of depends on what you got. But
And these are the same, like motorcycle engines, and so you guys just buy those. Is there a certain max limit, or do all the cars
so-
have like a
yeah,
governor
so
on
there's
them where
different
you
divisions.
can't?
So like there's the junior sprints where they start, and then the next class is same my car, but they take the engine and put like restrictor plates in the carburetors and the intakes.
Okay.
So to limit, air
Right.
fuel ratio and stuff, and where basically like a governor.
Yeah.
So, and that's for the kids like 12 to 16-year-olds.
Okay.
And then after that, then you move up, and there's at Port City there's 3 main classes for adults. There's the sportsman class, which is like a budget class. So like if you're just getting into it or whatever, you can spend $5-6 grand and go race sportsman. And then there's non-wing and A class. So
is there a limit on the sportsman? Or are they like these cars can't be above like 20 grand?
Yeah, so it's like your motor has to be like 15 years old. You have to have carburetors, which is like old school.
Yeah.
Wow,
I didn't know that.
You can't run a nose wing. Limits the nose wing on the front, so you kind of limit the cost. There's just things like that to keep it low budget.
Right,
So you're not
keep
going
it
to spending
like
30 grand on
it. Or some guy has something that's crazy tricked out that's gonna
And so what's funny is my car is actually legal for the sportsman class.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I still run carburetors, and my car is like 16 years old.
Oh wow.
And so, but anyway, so
it looks good though. It looks good.
So I tell everybody it's just a shiny turd. But no, so there's a sportsman, and then there are the two main classes, which is non-wing and A class, which the same exact class, but one's with the wings and one's without. And those are the two classes I race.
Because I think when we were out there was no wings.
Yeah, we had no wings.
No wings.
It was a no wing race.
They race all 5 classes every weekend.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so the non-wing and A class is just basically it's a stock class. So you take the motor straight out of a bike.
Right.
Can't do anything to it. It's all OEM.
Oh wow.
And you put it. I mean, obviously, motor builders will take it and like do a valve job or whatever. Put fresh OEM parts in it, so it's like a rebuild.
Right.
But it's like a stock class, and then there's like spec tire, spec stuff, and then like traveling around, there's the outlaw class, and it's like do whatever you want.
And there's no limits.
So the motor you can bore it out 2 millimeter, so it's 636. So we run 600cc engines, and you can go over 2 mil, so it's 636 cubic inches.
Dude.
So. And that they can do that to their motors. They run bigger wings. They can run in-cockpit adjustables.
The wings help you go faster, I'm assuming?
Yeah,
or is
it
it
helps
like with the aerodynamics?
Yeah, pretty much.
How fast you going, like, because we're watching, how fast you going with yours, with the 600 cc's, how fast you going around the track usually?
With a wing on at Port City, I mean, if the track's real good, maybe 70, 80 mile an hour. Going into
it seems like you're going way faster than that. I mean, that's fast on dirt going in the circle.
That's fast at Port City.
Yeah.
I mean, we're clicking off 9-second laps.
Jeez.
So you think 9 seconds and boom, the lap's over.
Kenzie's ready to race. She runs 70 on the side street. Nothing on there. But who was the guy that? Because I'm sure, and I don't know, but that it hasn't always been like, let's put a motorcycle engine in this sucker and see how fast. Like, who was the guy that was like, watch this?
There's been
that was for sure a couple dudes drinking in the
yeah, for sure.
You know what? Let's take that bike and throw that in the car.
Let's try this out.
That's the coolest thing about racing is there's so much innovation through the years that it's like that's why I built the 2-seater. Like, we got to innovate something.
Dude, before
that's
you
why
know
I got
it.
Bob Sawyer and Scott Sawyer are like the godfathers of micro racing around here.
Yeah.
They're the reason, in my opinion, why micro racing is what it is now. You know? And so that's why I teamed up with them whenever we built the 2-seater. I was like, we got to get them involved, and so. But yeah.
So you're gonna be the godfather of the 2-seater,
Two-seaters.
the double barrel class.
There's
stipulation on riders. Yeah,
I've already talked to Scott and Bob about like, when do you build another one just for the heck of it? They're like, heck no, never again.
10 years later, Chili Bowl.
Yeah. You been to Chili Bowl? You and I build a car.
They got
I'm driving.
they got different weight classes based on the passenger. Coming up the heavyweights.
Oh yeah.
So that's another thing too. So like, I want to know this. What is, and I know obviously the divisions. What does a typical car weigh? Like what is a?
Yeah, so the weight limit for us is like 750 with us in it. So the car's like 600 pounds ish. You know, is what the average.
It seems like it would be that. It'd be way more heavier. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, mine's like 1,000, and it's about 900 without me in it. Light guy.
That's the advantage for like the younger kids. You know, they're like 12, 14 years old. They come race with us because they still have to weigh 750, but they can put the weight bolted on wherever they want.
Really?
So they can use that to their advantage.
What was the guy we talked to after we went and saw Jake? It's Kenzie's family member.
Yeah, what was his name?
Chad.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Mickey.
You know Chad McGee? Yeah. So we went out and talked to him, but he got out of the car, and I was like,
yeah, he's a little kid.
That dude's 8 years old.
Yeah.
He just went 900 miles an hour. And I'm like, I mean, obviously he's older than that, but then. Because then he started cussing at me, and I'm like, okay, I like this kid already.
Well, what's the like age limit for, or I guess the age minimum to race like with the big dogs? Like,
So
do you have to
I think
be
it's 14?
Okay,
yeah.
really?
Yeah. So yeah.
Is that
There's
outlaws too?
14-year-olds racing against 60-year-olds.
Well,
And they're
speaking
fighting
of that
again.
too. Well, and also I've seen it out there, and I've seen it back in the days. is there's a lot of tension.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've seen some fights in the pits.
Yeah.
I've seen. Does that still happen a lot? I mean, at Port City, or is that?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Tempers flare
because I
and,
remember. I mean, this dude, you know, and again, not the Tony Stewart did, but he came out on the track. I saw him come from the pits, and I thought it was one of the workers. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. And he just starts. I saw this car go around. And he starts just throwing stuff at it, and I was like, and then I asked another guy I was in the stands with him, and he was like. He's like, oh, that dude's a prick. And I don't
Jimmy
remember
again.
Yeah.
Damn it.
It's Jake. He's a prick. He's won every year. So that's it. Yeah, I mean, it was. So do you get that a lot, like tension-wise, all the time?
Yeah, especially nowadays. Like, I mean, it's always been that way, but nowadays everybody thinks that they're the next best thing. They're going to NASCAR, so it's like, you touched my kid. No, it's like, dude, we're just having fun on Saturday night.
Yeah. Well, and what about the I mean, I was walking by the pits and like, you know, the trailers that the cars, you know, drive out of for and I'm looking in some of them and I'm like, it's a damn penthouse apartment in there.
Yeah.
They got refrigerated air.
Oh, yeah.
They got a kitchen.
Yeah, but there's a famous saying that a trailer's never won a race. So you can come on a flatbed or bring in the back of the truck, or you can bring in a stacker with a motorhome. It don't really matter. But,
I like the guys that, you're right. You kind of go down that chili bowl deal and you got all these super nice deals.
Yeah,
you have
the
a
freezer.
The back row, there's like one guy.
Yeah.
back row dude. He's like, you want a beer?
Yeah.
He has a cooler and 3 helmets. In
Marlboro Red and an igloo cooler.
Yeah.
He don't even have extra tires. He just has beer. I'm like, I want to race with that guy. You know,
Yeah, but the reason why, like most of the guys that, not all of them, but most of the guys that have motorhomes and big stackers, because they're traveling all over the country from race to race, so it's cheaper than buying a hotel every weekend or whatever.
Do you have a lot of those guys that, you know, not even just the triple, I know they're traveling everywhere, but local guys that travel all the time, like this is their deal, like they're sponsored? Do we have a lot in Oklahoma, or is that kind of? Yeah,
there's probably a dozen just in Tulsa that they do it for a living, so they're traveling all over. Every week they're looking for the biggest race, and micro racing now is crazy. You know, they used to it didn't pay anything like it does now. I mean, there's like, I think it's like in the middle of summer, there's a month where it's like $10,000 to win, $12,000 to win,
Really?
$20,000 to win, $10,000 to win every weekend.
Money's out
at
there.
different tracks, and then like Keith Coons, you guys know Keith Coons,
Yeah.
Chili Bowl.
Yeah.
He's doing a micro kind of a series this year with a handful of races, and it pays like $10,000 and $12,000 every week.
Right.
And
Really?
they finish it off at Port City for the Keith Coons race at the end of the year. So
Wow.
When is
and
that?
the winner of his Keith Coons race that he puts on at Port City, they can either take $15,000 cash or $7,500 plus a midget ride at Chili Bowl. So that's what Cale Drake did. He got that last year, and he raced for Keith at the Chili Bowl. So
Really?
Yeah,
How'd he do?
he was rookie of the year. I think he finished 14th on the main event. So
is that something you're pushing for to get to that level, or
the
you just
Chili
kind
Bowl?
of since you have kids and you're just kind of just
I'm way
enjoying
past
it?
that.
Yeah.
I'm all washed up dad.
Washed
now.
up dad. Well, you look like you're still 17.
Yeah.
Except when you wear your glasses, and I'm like, he's back.
Yeah.
Was that what everybody tries to get to? Is the Chili Bowl? Is that like the most money you can win, or is that like the Super Bowl? Is that?
Yeah, I mean,
there are other bigger.
So like there's probably 3 or 4 dirt track like Super Bowls, which is like Chili Bowl, and then the Knoxville Nationals. I know you heard of that. And then like Eldora has big races and stuff, but most people that are trying to get through the ranks are obviously trying to go to NASCAR. That's kind of the big money maker.
So it's trying to build up too.
But like wing sprint car racing has come a long way the last few years, and it's pretty big now too. So stay in dirt,
Before I had another question, but before I get to that in advance, the talks about racing is big question on my mind is, do they actually serve chili at the Chili Bowl? Because if not, I'm gonna be real disappointed. Like I said, I've never gone. My uncle married me, and
I would say there probably is somewhere up there.
there's got to be. I mean, there's got to be a chili booth somewhere.
There is.
They got a chili cooking contest. Like, man, if not,
I don't know about chili,
know?
but I know they have a concession stand that has chili dogs and
chili.
Well, I'm sure they do. But
There's not like Skyline chili for the people
No.
up north. Not like deer chili.
no, people don't bring that. Now, maybe on the first one, but they don't do
chili.
it anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, there's
so.
people like we were talking about the guys on the back row with the
Yeah.
little beer.
Yeah.
There's people that are cooking. Like,
Cooking
"You want some
chili.
Yeah, those
Chili,
are the
it's
dudes that do
time.
Yeah, that's the best chili that I've ever had too. So.
Talking about it through the broadcast. I want chicken chili, man. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
that. Yeah, that's.
It's funny, the reason why why it's called Chili Bowl, right?
Huh.
So the main sponsor for the very first year was he had Chili Bowl at a restaurant.
It was like Hormel chili or
Yeah,
something.
so he sponsored the first year.
So
Really?
it was chili?
And it stuck,
Yeah.
And it just
No,
stuck
Berry Hill,
now. Huh?
family Berry Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it stuck from there on.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
That is cool. So the Port City owner is who?
I want
Shakespeare.
chili
Yeah,
now.
because I was around him, and then what was the Lance something? Blevins?
Lance Blevins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day. I mean,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
rode
yeah,
together,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
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 because
yeah.
I think he's way younger than me. But
Yeah.
anyways, I remember seeing he had like car wash or something broken
Yeah,
down.
yeah. His nephew is at Port City, races at
Oh,
Port
really?
City now. Yeah, he races in the stricter division.
So you have like a rival or somebody that fights with you all the time, or is just
Man, I'm a lover, not a fighter, man. I don't get in fights.
Listen, you're competitive.
How many fights have you been in? I'm sure there's been some
Man.
tussles.
I've had people fight, try to fight me all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, hey man, it's all good.
It's like, dude,
man.
we're just
It's all
racing.
good. Nah,
He is a top
I didn't mean to
dude.
flip you.
He is a salesman though. Like he gets us to go play cornhole and all
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
He does,
I'll
dude.
talk some mess.
He does.
I'll talk some
Yeah.
mess.
Yeah. He
No,
talks
but
trash. So.
yeah, over the years, yeah, I've had some rivals, but I don't know anymore. It's just kind of too old for that stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Do you guys have any like intercoms in your helmets or anything?
Yeah. So actually, this thing
Yeah,
right here, that's a little race receiver. So then I have built-in headphones
Yeah, I
on
want
the
to
inside of my helmet. Yeah.
You listen
So
to like
this is
Metallica.
So,
does somebody call into
yeah, so
your
there's a race official up in the tower, and so they're on the radio telling, like under yell, they'll tell us where we need to go in the lineup. Yeah.
I don't think I can fit this, but I want to try. How big is your hat? Like, what do you wear?
Dude, you can't fit.
Snap back. And I just
Is it like, oh man?
go ahead, try it on, man.
Put it on.
Might as well.
I got a big ass head.
It won't fit my head.
We can
for
take
sure.
the brace off if you want, or you can slide it on your shoulders.
No, leave it. I want to.
full tilt.
Yeah, so
Oh, I
slide it
want
behind.
this.
I gotta fit my head.
No. So you slide this on the back of your slide it, and then you pull the helmet down.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, I'm learning.
There you go.
Neck too.
Come on.
Oh yeah, you ready to go?
Come on.
Oh yeah, you ready to go? He's ready to rip the lip.
Hey, dude.
There we go.
Something trying to flip me.
Hey, we got a
yeah.
caution on yellow. Got a caution.
I'll pass out.
Dude, your face is.
Breathe.
this thing on. Is it supposed to be tight? That's
Give me some ice for my head after this.
Tie out and pull
I want to
that thing
see you.
over there.
I want to see you take. You help taking it off.
I don't
want
think
you
it's
to
coming
die.
off. It's done
Time for the
now.
rest of the week. Oh yeah. Boom.
I feel like a winner.
He's ready to rip.
This is gonna take a minute to get off my neck. Golly.
Oh,
Listen,
yeah.
I'm so proud. Did
I'm
you-
just
hey,
gonna leave this
did you
for a
feel
second. It's
like-
a lot of energy.
Did you feel like racing?
I feel like my head was gonna pop like a grape. But I did have a flashback there where I was running down and I was hitting the dirt, and as soon as I hit turn one, I
About to hit the
blacked out.
ramp.
And then I ran somebody into a
On the
wall.
scooter about to boom.
Saying people are fighting. Golly, that thing. It's a great helmet. You can tell
Yeah.
it's quality.
I don't think I'll ever wear it again.
I definitely would win all the fights.
blacked
I feel like a linebacker with this shit on.
blacked out.
Hold
Didn't
that
know you
helmet,
were.
man. Hold that
Didn't know you were.
Ah, about decapitated.
All
Take
right.
this. Take this. Hey.
Look at this thing. Golly. That's a nice piece of equipment you got there.
It'll never be the same.
It's supposed to be tight. Now every time you put it on, Jake, you're
I
gonna think
got a
he's-
bigger head
thinking
than you,
out
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, jeez. Well, that's a nice helmet. So
Yeah.
you can you talk like shit to people? Like,
Nah,
is
you
everyone
can't.
hooked
It doesn't
up to
have
the
a-
same thing?
It doesn't have a mic. It's just a one-way radio.
Oh, it is really.
Yeah,
so you
so-
can't talk.
I love the one. I felt like I was racing.
I felt like I was racing. Felt like
Blacked out. Didn't know I was out.
like Lightning McQueen for a second.
Those things, yeah. I mean, it's in your inside your car. The
Haley, you might have
roll
to pop my
cages,
neck.
right? The roll cages. Yeah.
Yep.
And man, it is looking in your two-seater. It's super
Yeah.
tight, which
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's supposed to be. But
Yeah, you race like
in our
this,
car,
or you-
especially because the motor is like halfway into the car, so
Yeah. Oh,
pushes
yeah.
your legs over, and you're like, you can close it, and you have
Yeah.
a 5-point harness, so you're just like,
So you got like these on your like. Let me collect my breath. But do you have like
you
special?
get some oxygen.
Yeah, oxygen.
Producer, we
I
need
just fall
oxygen.
out. He'll be fine. Throw him a
We
twisted
keep
tea.
talking, so Jay, when's it that place? He's laying
So
on
you,
the floor.
you have like you gotta have like a I guess a fire suit or something on
Yeah,
because
so-
that engine's got to be hot and your head's
Yeah.
all tight. Your
Oh, yeah.
engine's
I
hot.
feel like a grape in there. You know?
like a grape.
But yeah, we got
popping some wine.
fireproof shoes, fireproof suit. and then a fireproof like head sock and fireproof underwear underneath the fire suit, and then obviously gloves stuff, and then arm restraints that clip basically your elbow to your waist.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because are you sitting like this driving?
Yeah. Yep.
In there?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Man, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
So yeah, and if you flip and pass out, your arms they can't go out of the car because you're all buckled.
Oh, so you're basically in a roll.
For, yeah. So.
I know you see it in Port City a lot. Man, I'll tell you right now, the Chili Bowl has a ton of rest because there's so many cars.
Yeah.
And at Port City, but dude, I mean, I've seen flip out of the whole track.
Yeah, I flipped out of the ballpark before.
Yeah,
really.
Pretty rough. Yeah.
How the hell does that happen? Because they have. I mean, you went completely out of the.
Yeah, out of the fence.
So you going on a turn and someone hits you and your momentum just
hop somebody else's tire and just.
Dang.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I thought someone was like, "Oh, for sure, he's dead." I mean, I was in there going, "Oh, he's fine. He's all right."
Fine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Holy, I don't know how he."
When you got that
I had some gnarly
thick
ones
ass
for sure,
helmet
yeah.
on.
Have you broken anything?
Broken my collar, not on a race car. No,
yeah.
on a race car. I mean stitches and stuff.
Oh,
broke my collarbone on a 4-wheeler. Yeah, of course.
Out of the
race
car.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those things are super safe.
Flipped. Yeah, I've done some. Yeah, had some bad ones.
I bet. Do you ever come back to the pits and you're like, and you have, the Crawford going, shaking their head like they're trying to disown you because you wrecked a brand new car?
So one time, actually last year, in a heat race, I tried to go 3 wide and it didn't work out. And so I went for a wild ride and it tore up just about everything on the car frame and everything.
Really?
Coming there and Donnie's just looking at me like, "What are you doing?"
There goes my son-in-law. Look at him right there, proud.
He's done.
That's funny.
Shaking his head.
And so do you guys have to refuel after every race? Do you guys have like in NASCAR where they have, they go to the bathroom in the car and things like that?
No, whatever.
You guys have
long, so.
55 laps?
Yeah, but at Port City, that's 9-second laps,
Yeah.
But
I'd ask for one
with all the wrecks, though, it's. I mean, I don't know how.
I ain't getting out.
Yeah, usually you don't have to get fuel or nothing like that because you fuel it up before you go, and then you don't have to really stop.
You got to change your tires a lot, or they last you 2 or 3 months before you have to change them?
Yeah, it kind of depends on the track surface. So like if you're watching the track, you see it like getting black. It's starting to get rubber in the track, so that just eats up the tires. But if a track's good and it's has a lot of moisture in it or whatever, tires will last a few weeks or a month or whatever.
Yeah.
Because all those tires are, I mean, I don't know the correct term, but they're like not bald, but they're smoothed over all of them.
So dirt tracks have treads on them.
They do.
Yeah. So and then just you kind of watch how the tire wears and stuff like that. That's kind of part of the game too. Is figuring out how to get your tires to wear correctly and stuff like that. But yeah, it's kind of, you could go through a set a night or you could go through a set a whole year.
Really?
Yeah, just kind of.
Oh wow!
I'm gonna say, if you guys are racing those without tread on that dirt, that is skill.
Yeah.
That is.
Usually, if it doesn't have tread, you need a new one.
He's trying to run on the same tires the first time in history.
Yeah. Like I was saying, the budget class, they'll buy like one set of tires and they'll make them last like the whole year. But then like some of the guys that have a brand new set every week.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
I've seen a lot of those guys too. Is they depend on sponsors? I mean, just because it's something is just, let's say like a Port City race is, and you don't tell me exactly, but is the purses pretty good? Are they like? I mean, I know a lot of those guys do it for fun or it's a thrill or a family deal, but is it worth like, okay, I'm gonna get a good purse just to pay back some tires or fix some engines and stuff like that? Is that kind of?
I think Port City pays like. I think it's like $350 on a weekly for the non A class, $350 for the weekly main event, and it costs $30 to enter. So I mean, obviously that doesn't count the car and fuel and tires and all that stuff. But and then there's bigger races, like I said, the 10,000 to win races and stuff like that. And like our race for the Memorial race, we pay $1,500 to win.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So and like 1,000 to win in the other classes and stuff. So it's kind of depends. I mean, for some people it's a wash. For some people it's like a huge payday. For some people it's like, I can't even do nothing with that.
Well, so what does it take to just, let's say, stock out a car, like just, like typically like yours? Like how much do you think would it be like if him and I said, okay, we want to build one. We want to build one.
So like my car is probably worth $8,000 probably, maybe $10,000 on a high end. But obviously, just like anything else, you can spend however much you want to spend. There's $40,000 cars out there, $50,000 cars out there, and there's $2,000 cars out there.
Yeah.
It just kind of depends on. But like I tell everybody, I got my $8,000 16-year-old car and it still
Yeah.
competes out there just fine.
Yeah, with
So,
everybody else.
Yeah.
Does
So, I mean,
better than most. I mean,
you don't
two-time
have to
defending
spend-
champ.
Yeah, you don't have to spend, however much everybody spends. But
Yeah. Well, that's like it's a fun thing to do, especially like,
Right.
for guys like you that are past, like, want to do it every day. You can go out and have like an awesome like hobby kind of, if you will, where you're working on your car, you're obviously putting money into it still. And then you can go out, hey, I can win $350 this weekend and do some more stuff to my car. And, we don't get paid anything for playing slow pitch softball.
No, we don't.
We get,
We should.
we're out there putting our body on the line behind that pitching net.
Exactly.
So
Takes
I can
a
drop
lot.
a fly ball.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's a lot of fun. I know. Is it Jason? Is that so? Kenzie's, Jason Campbell, and I know he loves doing it.
Yeah,
it's not his primary occupation, but it's something he loves doing, and it's like, it's fun. You can go on the weekends and load the family up. And like, hey, we're going to race for the weekend, and like it's a cool deal.
That's the cool thing about Port City is it's like a family atmosphere, and the track is like all. It's not like a big track spread out where you have to go all the way over there. It's all right there, smack dab together.
You walk in left or right, and you're not walking too far.
Exactly.
And there's
that's the best thing about it, and they keep it, family oriented and try to do everything. So.
Oh, and the concession stand prices are great.
Yeah.
You can freaking feed a family of 10 in there for like
$20.
$20.
I saw like whenever the PGA came to Tulsa.
Yeah.
And it, like beers like $20.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
What's the announcer guy there? I don't know his name at Port City.
Oh, Haas.
Man, he is. That dude's
he's a
legit
dude.
on
Yeah,
it.
he's
I
a
mean,
dude.
he makes with any sport you have, like the Bruce Buffer guy or all that stuff. I mean, the intro of racing, because you're just sitting there like, all right, these guys are going to go in circles and they're going left and they're throwing dirt everywhere. But this guy he makes it like, okay, this guy's running. Look at him going inside. I mean, it just makes it super cool.
Good energy. Fun and he pumps up the crowd and
for sure.
I'm eating my chili bowl dog.
They got no chili, dude.
My grapes. You can see how red I probably was. Getting ready for St. Patty's Day. Getting my red.
You say he's a professional racer. Anyways, there's a guy that
He lost his foot. He was on foot.
lost.
Brandon Wisely.
Yeah. So
he
she
grew
was
up
talking
with
about
Donnie Ray.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So she was telling me that it was, and you don't know, it was kind of, I guess what happened. It was a lawnmower accident. And it like chopped off his foot or something.
Yeah, when he was five or six.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, really?
And then he became like a badass wrestler.
They were playing on a lawnmower. It fell off, and his brother ran over.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So they amputated. But he still races to this day, and I think he went to state wrestler. Yeah, he's an athlete. Yeah.
But she was telling me that. I'm like, but that just talks about the guys that are the smaller, and then you have the 1 footer, guys, and it's just whatever. We had a guy.
We got the 1 footers
coming up.
Hey, listen. The good thing about we had a guy in college, and his name was Peg Leg, and he's a 2-time. I think he's a 2-time national champion wrestler. And he had it on his license plate, Peg Leg.
Really?
So he got out. I was like, man, this guy's big because his upper body was like,
Yeah.
And he got in the car and was just like kind of scared. And I was like, what do we call him? And they're like, look at his license
So,
plate.
funny story on the 1 footers. So at the Chili Bowl, this 80-year-old veteran I was telling you all about, he came up there and he was like, I'm ready for my ride. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're the guy, So we're getting him ready and stuff. And he's like, I only got 1 leg, though. I was like, hey, that'll work. So he would get him suited up in one of my fire suit stuff, and he's about to get in. He puts 1 foot in and kind of climbs in, and he gets his fake leg stuck. And he's like trying to get it in. I'm like, I can help you, push it in there. He's like, just pull it off, son. So I was like, popped it off, and he's like, swings the suit flap in there, and he's like, I'm ready to go.
Let's go, man.
I'm like holding his leg. I'm like, what in the world?
Listen, you talk about me being overweight on that, and you brought
There's
in
a whiskey flask there. So when can
And
we?
of course, he had an absolute blast.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll bet
I'm ready to go.
Ready to go. Pedal to the metal.
That's the one you're scared you're gonna get my heart attack.
Yeah.
You go out there, but
When can we? Well, I guess sorry, Mo. When can I get in this 2-seater? Yeah.
Yeah, we usually have.
Come on, what do I have to
City
enter?
for our memorial race in June, and that's kind of a good time to go out there and
I'll buy some
do
raffles.
some laps.
Yeah.
So the
dude, that
so the
would be-
league starts, or they call it a league? Is that or the what-
just season.
Season.
So the season, when does that start?
So it starts Saturday night. This
Saturday
Saturday.
night.
Yeah.
Oh, so we
That'd
gotta
be cool.
we gotta drop this thing soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. she's
Saturday.
Yeah, for sure.
We got our producer right there going to drop
Yeah.
it real quick.
I don't see that laptop working. So where's that race at?
It's at Port City.
Is that
yeah.
Port City?
Yeah. Yeah.
So does it start? There's multiple races there all year, and then the Port City Championship is there too.
Yeah. So every Saturday night, Port City's. There's a couple nights off throughout the year, but usually every Saturday night they have a race.
Nice.
How long does that go?
From this weekend till like October, end of October, November, first week of November.
Yeah, so your whole
Every
family
Saturday.
packs up every Saturday.
And you, like probably half that time, there's 2-day shows, so it's Friday, Saturday. So
That's
it's
some
like,
dedication
Yeah.
with the family. I mean, that's what I'm talking
Crazy.
about going into the family part. I'm like,
Yeah.
for you, I mean, that was like me telling, hey, listen, we're going to the racetrack every Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like everybody else
Oh,
is
yeah.
like, what?
That's why I tell everybody, like at the awards banquet and stuff, everybody's thinking they're sponsors and stuff, and I'm like, every year I'm like, okay, hold on just a second. All the wives
Yeah.
Yeah.
stand up.
all
You
the
guys
wives.
are the real MVP here.
No,
Yeah.
it is.
Sacrifice so much for us, so
Yeah.
it's
What-
all fun.
When on those, I mean, you're not traveling too much anymore. You said.
No,
Are there other places around Oklahoma you might go? Like if there's stuff
so
around
there's-
like
I actually grew up.
Guthrie. Is
Yeah,
there-
I grew up racing until I was probably 12. First 4 or 5 years of my race career, I started at I-44 Speedway, which is in Oklahoma City. There's a nice track there, and that's where I grew up racing with like Christopher Bell and stuff
Yeah.
there. And then there's probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 tracks around Oklahoma.
I didn't
There's
know
one
that.
like in Meeker, Oklahoma. There's obviously Salina, and there's one in Muskogee. You know, there's all around.
Yeah.
What's that dirt track over there that's by the drags?
Yeah, that's the new Tulsa Speedway. They
Oh,
just
is it?
opened that last year, I think.
There's a
the
dirt
year
track
before.
over there now.
Yeah, they just added one.
So are you guys racing in that this season?
No, they haven't had a micro race there yet. They race like big sprint cars and like factory stocks and stuff
Oh.
like that.
Do you ever
Oh, the
drag
big-
race in those in
No,
yours? No.
No, drag racer.
W.
You never drag race in those? Just make the track slightly tilted.
Yeah.
Listen,
And just speed
What
off.
fun is going
Listen,
fast in like 2 seconds?
yeah,
That's
listen,
right,
when
that's
you
true.
with the helmet on, drag races in a sprint car.
I would definitely
Or micro?
I'd pass out and blame it on the G forces.
See?
It was the G forces. They got me.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. And so do you guys? You just like
that's
these
cool.
personally, or did you
Victor
start
Field?
these? Yeah.
No, so Kevin Swindell, who's a real famous racer, his family's raced too, and he's won the Chili Bowl. They together, him and his dad, Sammy Swindell, won the Chili Bowl. I think, Kevin's won it 4 times, I think. Anyway,
Yeah.
he got paralyzed racing a sprint car at Knoxville, I think. Yeah, and he's paralyzed, and so he's in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. So, anyways, he's trying to come up with a cool drink, the healthy drink, like
Yeah.
for people like that, you know, that need the extra vitamins and stuff like that. And so he came up with this drink, and they launched it a couple years ago, and it just basically took off. And everybody loves it, especially for the kids and stuff, because
Yeah.
it's caffeine free, no sugar,
Kid-friendly.
nothing like that. And stuff.
Well, you can't beat the
Victory
name.
Fuel.
I mean, it's Victory
Oh,
Fuel
yeah,
and then
that's the best
Throttle
part.
Punch.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
If I see that
They
anywhere,
have like a
I'm
lemonade
taking
version
this.
too, and it's pretty good. but-
Taking this before softball, and I'm gonna hit home runs all
They
night.
gonna-
donate to our foundation. So
Yeah.
Okay,
they're
cool.
They're real
So
good.
can you
Victory
get this
Fuel.
at like Quick Trip or everywhere?
They're working on it, but
Yeah.
not
Not
yet.
yet.
yet. But they have a website and stuff, and like Port City sells it. And there's
Okay.
a lot of people, racers around here, that are like ambassadors
Yeah.
for it, and so they.
And we'll
sell,
put
like,
it
their
on.
songs and
We'll
stuff.
put it
Yeah.
on our stuff too. And,
Drinkvictory.com.
yeah,
Yep.
we'll definitely we'll throw it on everything. We'll throw all your stuff that you have on our stuff, and
Yeah, this thing's
And,
loaded with
not that
vitamins.
Yeah,
big
oh,
time.
yeah.
But I definitely want people knowing it. And
Yeah, it's a good vitamin.
but I'm trying to figure out why our team is not named Throttle Punch.
I know,
Oh.
dude. Throttle Punch.
I mean, that is
That's a sick name.
That is a sick
That,
name.
and this thing only has 6 grams of added sugar. I mean, there's like hardly any sugar in
That's
this
awesome.
thing, and that's only, I mean, a ton of. I like this thing. I'll have Kinsey try it.
Yeah, it's a good.
No caffeine, and it also says that it gives you a 25% chance of winning increase. I'll have to keep drinking
I
that.
can attest.
Yeah, when you won the season.
Yeah,
Hey,
that victory fuel, baby, right
exactly.
there. So so on your, like, whenever you race, especially guys who race all the time, do they go after sponsors? Do sponsors find them? Do you have like quite a few sponsors on your car?
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to do it without all the help that I get from everybody. I mean, everything. I mean, the wings that are on them, I have a real good relationship with Lightning Wings. I mean, my powder coating, Broken Arrow powder coating, and Broken Arrow, they do all my powder coating, and Meru, the hat. That's
I like the hat.
These braces.
Those braces work.
So like, the whole deal is so they made everybody. There's popular neck braces like that, but this is the first one ever that has a shock absorber in it.
Is that carbon fiber? What is that?
Yeah, it's all
so
carbon.
There's a shock absorber in this thing?
Yeah, right
I
back here.
didn't feel that. There it
Yeah.
is.
So this
You
thing
didn't
is
have it on the
a
way.
shock. So basically, you strap this to your belts down tight, so your body's not moving,
Yeah.
and then this kind of moves back and
Helps
forth.
your head with
Yeah.
Nice.
So most braces are just solid here. So when you hit, your head can still slam forward and get a
Yeah.
concussion real easy. This kind of limits your
Moves.
movement on your head. So
Are they local?
Oklahoma City. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
carbon fiber?
Yep. All carbon. Yeah, they're real good to me, and I kind of launched with them. They just launched last year, and I was one of their early adapters, and kind of helped them boost the brand and stuff. And
That's why I felt like I
taking
was
off.
on the track. There's some dirt.
Listen,
yeah, they actually working with Travis Pastrana too. He wears one now.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it's a pretty cool deal.
I promise you this, your face was not even close to being that far down, so you would have tasted the dirt.
I would have probably got a concussion.
So does
Two-seater.
I think I seen it on your car snap on?
Yeah, so that's my father-in-law.
Yeah, but I'm saying like do they
Zero snap on in my tool
Yeah.
department. Yeah.
zero?
Can't afford it, dude.
Dude, that's
Well,
the-
surely.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
he helps me out
I'm
with so much. Obviously not just the tools, everything
Yeah.
else. So that's why I kind of have him on there in the prime spot. But
Do you have like a pit crew? Do you have, or is it just
yeah, me and
The
my
crowd.
father-in-law.
really?
No, we have some good. My uncle John, and then Kevin, one of our buddies. He helps us out, and it's a real small circle, but that's kind of how we like it.
So
Every
how,
weekend.
well, with the pit crew and stuff, are there any times like that you've raced where you have to have like a quick turnaround, or is there usually
so
they got to get in there and
yeah. So like whenever you get in a wreck,
on TV?
when you get in a wreck, and some like the bigger races and stuff, they have a work area right off the track. So like if you
That's
get
a
flat
badass
tire,
name too.
you pull right off into the work area, and your crew has to be right there to just like the Chili Bowl.
Yeah.
They pull off right there.
Yeah.
The same thing at Port City. So you got to have somebody quick there with tire and lug wrench.
I thought you said a war carrier, and I was like, that's badass too.
I was wondering what
Get
you
him
were
to the
saying.
war
I know,
carrier.
I was like, that's a cool name. That's not a cool name, but if you want to
The war carrier.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stick with. He's going into the war carrier.
Going to the war
Like,
carrier,
what is that idiot saying? Ever since that helmet debacle, we ain't been
you
right.
might black out right now.
Get you some grapes.
You get that man some cold grapes.
He can't hear it. He's about to black out and pass out. What happened? He died.
Flow in there. But they're usually pretty quick turning all that around, and
Oh yeah.
man, because
That's
I
like
know-
the sprint cars when they race like the World of Outlaws, the big wigs. They'll change like a whole front end in like 60 seconds.
The Chili Bowl,
How
dude.
much-
The Chili Bowl. These guys are. I mean, I'm not kidding. Running, pushing their car down, and they're fixing it as they're pushing it down. I'm not kidding you. Like they're putting on
Yeah,
tires.
they go all out. They got
as
like a
they're
table
running
like
down
this
there.
size, and they'll load it with tires and everything they need. And it's like a roll cart.
Yeah.
And they roll it down to the
war
war
carrier.
carrier.
carrier. That's what they
And
should
it's
call
ready to
it.
go.
Get it on the war carrier. We
Yeah,
got
I
work
think I'm
to
gonna
do.
put that
Listen,
on-
we're putting
that on the car this year.
Hey,
war carrier.
We're gonna come with a sticker. We're gonna put it on the side.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's
Go,
right. So they have to go through a lot of like, I guess, front ends and stuff. I mean, especially if there's wrecks. Like that wreck you got in where you try to go 3 wide.
Yeah.
Did it just totally, the car's
everything.
done for the
Yeah.
weekend or
Oh,
done
no,
for
we
the
got it done, fixed in like an hour.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Frame or the frame?
The frame had a bent bar that I kind of just let it roll out. That's the
Let it ride.
I got it fixed.
Jake's
I
like,
got it
it's fine. It's,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
torn in half.
It actually ran better. That
I was
way.
going to say, it helped. Do whatever you
Yeah.
did, do it again.
But no, we changed front end, rear end. I mean, all the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you like the wing or no wing?
I like the non-wing. Yeah.
Do you?
Just more of a driver class.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the wing is just like a big downforce, big band-aid on top of you. And I mean, not everybody, but it's a lot easier with a wing. And you take the wing off, you have no downforce, so you're like
Yeah.
skating on ice basically.
Oh.
It looks
time.
cooler with a wing on. Though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean,
yeah.
you
it
see
looks
those
better with
cars.
a wing, but it's more fun with that.
But it's
wing.
more fun with that, more challenging for the driver.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said that you still drive like your car still has, and I totally forgot what you called it, and it's a very simple. That's what I was going towards.
Yeah.
So
you think about like vehicles, like trucks.
Yeah.
That have an old carburetor on top, and it's like now it's all fuel injection.
So that's what most of the new cars use.
Yeah, like 99% of cars now.
And you prefer the old version? Do you think it just like you feel the vehicle better, or do you just it's faster, or
it's cheaper?
Yeah.
You can get a set of carburetors for like $300. Fuel injection's like $2,500.
Yep.
Plus all the
Going
computer
carburetor.
and everything else. Yeah. And then like at Port City and stuff, it's not that big of a difference. I mean, fuel injection is obviously better, but I mean for what I'm doing, I always tell everybody I gotta buy diapers. I ain't buying fuel injection.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting a bunch of right now.
Yeah.
Put them in the war carrier at home.
Yeah, there you go.
The diaper.
You can have a diaper.
Got another blow out. Get the war carrier in here.
Jake's gonna have war carriers and grapes on his helmet.
Grapes. Somebody said
What's the
I
grape
think my new
for?
helmet's gonna be purple.
Purple
Seed
grape.
on top.
The old grape. It's going
Big old
purple
grape.
machine. Man, yeah.
So do you have so your friends and stuff are like, I know they're not really necessarily like enemies, but is there people like you support out there like a Port City, like you have like a buddy or something that you guys kind of, is there somebody like that, or is there multiple, or is it kind of?
So
Well, do they help you during the race?
nah, once you go on the track, there's no friends.
So there's no like draft or slingshot for
Nah,
those who are
not quite.
Talladega Night
Not
fans?
quite, but there's a lot of camaraderie at the racetrack and stuff. And one thing I try to pride myself on is like being there for the younger generation and stuff, and kind of try to take kids under my wing and help them out. And you never know when somebody's watching, is what I try to tell everybody. So being there for them and kind of guiding them through, and kind of like one thing about me, and another thing most people don't know is never smoked, never drank alcohol in my life, never.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to be
I heard that.
a good role model for people that
Yeah.
like the younger generation and stuff. And so, not that there's anything wrong with alcohol
yeah,
or smoking or anything like that, but try to kind of guide them in the right direction to, the right path in life
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So
It's old Donald Trump never drank his life.
Yeah.
Yep.
prime time, Deion
Lo-
Sanders.
prime
Yeah,
time. That's
prime
right.
time, That's what we're
That's
talking
right.
about. Listen, I mean, it's been cool, and I told Big E, especially when we were out in Washington, we saw his old age friends out there. It's cool to go see, but also, I see it at work. A lot of people respect you, and I'm sure they do out there on the racetracks, and and they, holding that 55 number high, and man, you represent it well.
Oh, thanks.
You know what I mean? It's and to me, in that world, it's hard to do.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like, not saying like, people could flip flop and go the other way.
Yeah.
And knowing that family, obviously they wouldn't do that. But man, it's got to be pretty cool for Donnie and them to see that out there, and then see that on your car, and see that on your two-seater, and it's got to be pretty cool, man. It's like, do they still kind of get the the chills and the vibes and stuff? And I know. Like I said, I see him. He was smiling every time I see him. He's smiling. You know what I mean?
That's Donnie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was obviously it's been tough for them. They didn't go to a single race for probably at least 3 or 4 years after it happened.
Really?
Never
Yeah.
even went to, even like we had the memorial race every year, and they never showed up just because
Really? I was going to ask that.
pulling off the
Yeah.
Band-Aid, and then once I started racing, with chassis and stuff, and it was kind of a given for Donnie to help me and stuff, and I think it's been good for him to be back out there and stuff, and get back out.
And that says a lot about your wife. You know what I mean? It's just, to take that of what they went through, and I'm not using the tragedy of what they are, because they're, amazing people. I didn't know them very personally, but for her to say, hey, what are we doing? When we get in the car, and her to still live that lifestyle, that says so much.
When you
about
buying a
her.
car.
Yeah,
Buying a car.
To me, that's the family. That's the family that,
Yeah.
people talk racing, that they know that. I mean, and we see it whenever I went around there, especially now, knowing you and going to watch you, man, I could see everybody just, forming around that. And, man, it's super cool, and I'm so glad you came on. And, man, it's, and like I've always wanted to ask you questions about that, just because nobody gets to see but the stickers on the back of people's trucks, you know what I'm saying? And knowing that there's not necessarily a story behind it, but I didn't want people thinking, they see that sticker and knowing the tragedy behind it. I wanted you to come on to understand that there's so much happiness, and you guys are representing everything so well. Your family, the Crawfords, And I'm just so excited, man. We were talking about too is, you know, we want a lot of race, you know, people that to follow us because this is a huge deal for us.
Yeah,
you know,
for
I mean,
sure.
I don't know very many. You're the only one besides the Crawfords and the Hillmans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I'll
know,
definitely pump you up on that. Yeah, for sure.
But I love that because I don't care if nobody else follows us, but what I want them to do is see you.
Uh-huh.
You know, and knowing behind this. You know what I mean? And that's what I was telling you before is, you know, listen, dude, the stories and the stuff that we didn't know. I mean, I know quite a bit about it, but man, I'm telling you, man, thanks for coming on. And
thank you guys for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
When it's awesome for people to go out and, like you said, it's every weekend from now till October.
Yeah.
Out and
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, I'd encourage people to go out and watch. I mean, because it's something that maybe some people don't know anything about, like I did whenever I first came up. Yeah.
Fort City
Fort
representative.
City.
Boom.
And it's so much fun whenever you see it and you experience it. You're like, you feel everything going, all the energy and the loud noises and the vibrations going through the racetrack, and you're like, holy shit, this is awesome. This is a lot of fun just to watch it. And then, of course, people around you too. If you have no idea what's going on, you're asking the questions, people will be happy to talk to you and be like, yeah, this and this. But yeah, what for people going out there? I mean, it's not expensive to get in.
Yeah.
I mean, to go see a race.
$10 or whatever.
Yeah.
And bring your family out there, have a good time and stuff. And yeah, there's always activities in the stands for the kids.
Yeah.
And always drivers walking around and stuff too.
Yeah.
And you can go in the pits and stuff
Yeah.
in Port City too, right?
Yeah, after the races, you can come down there, and I try to let all the little kids get in the car after the races, climb in and check it out.
Can you go during the race? Or
you can get a pit pass. Yeah,
pit pass.
It's like $30, I think, or $35.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Still not bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go in there and hang out.
And then if anyone listening gets Chili Bowl tickets, just
5
remember
of them.
DM the Mo Chatta, and we will do a special ride on our podcast.
Hashtag get Big E to
Yeah,
Chili
get Big E to the Chili Bowl.
Bowl. Gotta happen this
We
year.
get
Gotta have the grape.
We get $100,000 for a new helmet.
Yeah, I'll wear the helmet the whole time I'm out the race.
No, it's
I
cool,
remember
man.
much of
But
it,
hey, thanks for coming on, dude.
Hey,
And
no problem. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
you're always welcome here, man. It's go check them out. Port City is legit. It's ran great. They're fun. The announcer brings in the kids, like you said, and definitely go check it out. It's starting this weekend. I know that Haley and I will go. I mean, we had a blast, but it's loud as shit. And you talk about, like I said, I thought they went 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, but I'm riding that
Yeah.
two-seater though.
Oh, for sure.
I want to get in there. I want to get in there.
I need to lose weight. I need to lose 20 pounds, he said.
Where it is. Man, thanks for coming
Yeah.
on. We'll have to have you on again.
Oh, yeah,
We'll
for
have you
sure.
on and
ready.
some other guys get on too.
Yeah.
Long season, so.
Oh, yeah. We'll have it.
Mind over matter, man. Courage over fear. No pain, no gain mentality is the reason why I'm here. Broken